Thank you so much. It's so good to be with you all, and just seeing the over 1,000 people that tuned in is for me sitting in Minneapolis and seeing ICE outside of this window this week, just so inspiring. So I really appreciate you all for being here. So I'm one of the Free MN organizers that is helping to lead the ICE Out Enterprise campaign. So about a month ago, we learned from enterprise car rental employees that over 1,000 cars were being rented to ICE on a contract. And we've been working hard to build relationships with enterprise employees since then, and in doing so have learned that they have continued to rent more cars to ICE since January. And what they're doing with these cars is they're brutalizing our neighbors, they're kidnapping our families, they're stalking legal observers, and we need to do something about it. So about a month ago, we launched a campaign, and that campaign has two goals. So the first is to convince Enterprise to cancel its contract with ICE, to make it clear that doing business with ICE is bad for business, and to make an example of Enterprise for other car rental agencies and other corporations, bar none. Again, that doing business with ICE is bad for business. And we approach this campaign with two strategies. So both outside game and inside game. So outside game, applying pressure to the corporation, as well as playing an inside game. I saw someone earlier in the chat ask, what about the workers? What if corporations are not going to agree to defect? And we have been intentionally building relationship with enterprise car rental workers for the purposes of gaining their allyship and their defection. We approach this campaign with the idea that anyone we interact with is a potential ally. So we launched this a month ago, first with a day of action at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. You might have seen a TikTok video going around. We had a ton of Minnesota community members show up to the Enterprise Rental Car Center at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport and get in line and go up to the counter. First, build relationship. They brought treats. I think there were donuts involved, maybe coffee, and they booked cars, or they reserved cars. And then they went to the back of the line, got in line again, waited until their turn, and they canceled cars. And they did this on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, knowing that as well, the workers knew what was up, and that part of the work of fighting authoritarianism is aligning with the interests of those involved and getting a sense of, like, how has your day been? I hear things are rough right now for Enterprise. How is this going for you? And that day of action here in the Twin Cities evolved to an ongoing campaign. And so we've had amazing folks show up and organize pods, so small groups of friends, family, folks from church, your garage band, your knitting circle, organized pods to engage in what has now been 30 days of daily action. Again, applying pressure from the outside and working to gain allyship from the inside of Enterprise to get them to cancel their contracts with ICE. And those actions that they've been doing around the greater Twin Cities metro and into the suburbs and even into some rural locations are tangible, they're specific, they're things that you can do. Sure, they include going and building a relationship at the Enterprise Rental Center, but they also include sending some emails from your couch. They also include booking and canceling rental cars at no cost from your home. And they have been doing this, hundreds of these folks have been doing this in small pods for a month now and inspire me every single day. And now we're calling on you to bring this campaign global. So on President's Day in the United States, on Monday, the 16th of February, we are calling on you all, on folks around the globe, to host a protest at your most local Enterprise Rental Center. And we want these protests occurring at every Enterprise Rental Center to fill a map around the globe, to say, not my president, no to authoritarianism, no to ICE. And we're hoping that that also then evolved into you founding a pod that can maybe adopt your local enterprise rental center with some really tangible, specific actions that we will support you with. And we'll help you out along the way. So sign up using the Action Network link that is in the chat. We will give you toolkits, chants, protest songs, everything you need to make it happen. We're even doing some coaching this Thursday if folks have questions about how to make this possible. Here's the link for what's also in the chat. So we're calling on you now to say, no authoritarianism, not in my community, not my president. And we have one more ask, which is we're building a movement of leaders that know how to fight authoritarianism and fill that void with connection and relationship and care. And we were learning that doing so costs some money. So if you're unable to join us on the 16th, maybe you have a spare few dollars, we would appreciate it so we can build a movement here, a non-cooperation movement here in Minnesota that truly fights and defeats authoritarianism.